It is late at night and we are off the grid. And while I cannot vouch for the rest of the world, those two things I know to be true because it is, 11 o'clock or whatever time it is. Yep, just past 11 here up in New England, the good old New England. And we are, let's just see, we are running on off-grid power, not just off-grid power. We're actually running on generator power, which is also known as car power. Our Hyundai Ioniq 5 is connected to our manual transfer switch, and that manual transfer switch is connected to the entire set of all the circuit breakers on our panel in the house. And so, as you can see, the lights are on, the internet is on, my computer is plugged in, and we've got plenty of power thanks to the vehicle, thanks to our car/backup generator. It's our generator on wheels. And so if we're just looking today, so when we started off today, you could see up in the upper left-hand corner, you see the time. That was 10:04 this morning. And we were at, that was 10:04 tonight. That was tonight. I just took that an hour ago. And we had 18% power. So that's why we switched over to the car. It's going to be sunny tomorrow. And so we will make power. We'll make power starting at about 8 or 9 o'clock. Starts to get a little bit later as we dip into the fall and into the winter. We generate power a little bit later in the day just because the sun rises later in the day. And it rises at a lower arc. And so we just don't capture it with the same intensity in the morning that we typically do in the summertime. So definitely have a luxury of power in the summer. And we've got a little bit of a different scenario coming into the fall and winter where we've got to be a little bit more attentive to the weather and the days that we have sunshine and how we want to manage our power when we don't. For instance, the last few days, we did not have much sun at all. We can go over that in a second, but we had to, make the adjustments we needed to, and that's no problem. We've got a good strategy now. So that's exciting. We're rolling into our fourth year here off the grid. And our first year really feeling like we've got all of the components in place and all of the tools in place that we need to really manage our power situation effectively and as seamlessly as we can. And so as we play this, we got 18% power as of tonight. And we're switched over, so we'll still use a couple percent of power. But here you can see today we used 17.2 kilowatts, which is pretty much on par to what we used yesterday. I think I flipped back to check out what we had used yesterday in a second. Yep, so we used 17.8 yesterday, 17.2 today. They say that's a little under the average. We've got a pretty good sized house, but we're not using heat right now. It's still a pretty temperate climate out. And we don't quite need the heat. We've got things well insulated, and we're holding our heat well. And so here you can see we discharged 11.9 kilowatts from the battery, from the power walls. We have a capacity of 40. It's 3 power walls. And we charged 12.8. Now, some of that charge was from the sunshine we got. I think we actually got more sunshine than I was expecting that we would get today. We got 3 kilowatts. It was rainy out. It was gray out all day. I mean, we got 7. We got 3.5 yesterday, and we made 7. Let's just see. It'll pop up in a second. I think we made 7 and change today. 7.5. So we made 7.5 kilowatts of solar power today, and that was more than I expected. And so we did supplement that just because we were really low. We would have not been able to do. My wife wouldn't able to have work like she normally would have and seen clients, and I wouldn't have been able to work like I normally do. And so we did use our propane generator. We do have a backup to the backup propane generator. And what that does is that charges the power walls. And so it's a very slow charge. It's like what I would consider a level 1 car charger hooked up to our power wall. I'll show you that in a second too, because I did screenshot that. But you could see we did import from the grid. It calls it the grid, but it's really just our Kohler backup generator, not to back up the power from the house, but to back up the power walls. And it took a little. This is a finicky system. This is a finicky part of the system, and it's taken some trial and error to get it working. Knock on wood. But as you can see, we did generate 5.4. So in total, today with our house, we used 17.2, but we were able to generate 7.5 from the sunshine and 5 and change from the generator. So we were able to pick up enough power to offset the majority of what we needed for today. And so that brought us into connecting up with the car just to conserve. So that means when we get up in the morning, we should have, let's say, 18% minus 3 or 4%, because we still got a few things running off of the power walls. It's not that we don't shut them off completely. The gateway still runs, the Tesla gateway, which manages the whole system. And there are some other odds and ends, some minor hardware and firmware related aspects of the system that still need to run. But to give you a sense of what it looks like when we're charging our system with our generator, our propane generator, let me back this up real quick. And so here it is. This is what really confuses our Tesla system. So it says we're bringing in 1.8, and this is 5:45 in the morning. You could see upper left-hand corner. It says we're bringing in 1.8 of solar, and it says we're bringing in 2.0 kilowatts of grid. You could see a little diagram. But in reality, this is all coming from a little generator just sort of on the corner here of our solar shed. So our solar shed's separate from the house. So we're really producing like 3.84 kilowatts from the generator, but our system isn't quite smart enough to acknowledge that. So it splits it up. It's thinking it's getting solar. It's thinking it's getting grid. In reality, neither of those things is happening. But you can kind of see where we start to, this is what we had used in the morning. This was 5:45 in the morning. So we had used at that point 2.9 kilowatts. It's kind of, let's say 0.5 kilowatt an hour, maybe a little less than that. And then this just gives a snapshot of how it looks on the Tesla app. When you scroll through, obviously we hadn't produced any solar. And it hadn't even registered. This actually hadn't even registered in the grid yet. If we went back to the app today and we went over to, here's the grid. This is the same screen. This is just 14 hours later. As you can see, we did import. It calls it imported 5.4 kilowatts. And in reality, that's just what we had generated from the very slow, almost like a trickle charge from the Kohler generator. So that's pretty much a snapshot of how much energy we used today and how much energy we made today. So in the fall, we're sitting at somewhere in the 17 kilowatt range, which on a gray day like today, we did make 7.5, and it's not insurmountable to make that energy up or to be able to make it to the next day. Tomorrow's sunny, so we'll have that's switching over to the car. It makes it really palatable for us now to take the load off of the power walls and switch it over to the car so that we can preserve our energy. So it's just different types of energy and having the ability to utilize what you need, and having some of that energy, having that generator, that main generator that we use, be mobile enough. So we drive it around. It's our vehicle. It doubles as our shuttle. But really, in the reality, in the winter, it's our lifeline. And so we're really grateful for that. So that'll wrap that up. And then we got this made me happy. I got to go to we got to go to this article right here. This really made me happy. German artist Jan Vormann has turned the idea of fixing cracks in urban landscapes into a global movement with his dispatch work project. I like it. It's patchwork. It's dispatch work. Also, that's a great bag of Legos right there. That's like, oh my God. That's a Lego Maniac's dream bag of Legos. Using colorful Lego bricks, Vormann repairs crumbling walls and structures, transforming decay into vibrant art. His playful installations, found in over 40 cities, challenge us to see imperfections as opportunities for creativity. That's cool as shit. That's just like, that makes me happy. There's so many things about this that make me happy, particularly with this old, it looks like maybe a granite cobble wall or some kind of an old stone wall. That's a very engaging, colorful, unique contextual, like site-oriented, fun art project. The global movement of Lego. It's a global movement. Vorman began dispatch work in Bonignano, I probably pronounced that way wrong, Italy in 2007. And his project spread quickly worldwide. By filling gaps and cracks in aging buildings with Lego bricks, his work contrasts the weathered tones of old structures with the bright colors of modern play. That's just what I was saying. It comes off, I mean, it reads right away. I love artwork that makes sense. I love stuff that makes sense. Some installations use just a few bricks, while others incorporate thousands. That's cool. That is cool. Oh, that makes me happy. This really does make me happy. I think I need to do this around. I think we all need to participate in something like this. Each repair tells its own story, inviting viewers to reflect on urban decay and restoration. What makes dispatch work unique in its collaborative nature, passers-by are often encouraged to participate, adding their own Lego creations to the repairs. This transforms each artwork into a shared expression of creativity between the artist and community. This is super cool. I don't need to read the whole thing, but I think I'm just going to scroll through like some of these. Like, just fantastic. Explore more. Oh, look at that. How great is this? These are the times I feel like we're going to be okay, oddly enough. Oh, that's so cool. This is like a whole this is just, I wonder, did he do all these? Did he do all these? I think so. I think this is the dispatch work series. There's a website. We can click on the website in a second. I was going to, this is cool. There's some really great pictures. This is a great art. Street Art Utopia. That's the website this is on. There's some great pictures. Great job. Great job, Jans Vorman, and great job, Street Art Utopia. With the door and the stairs. How cute is that? I want to walk up. I want to go see what's in there. I'd have a drink in there. Yeah, this is super cool. The world needs more of this. Cathedral style. Look at that. The world needs more of this. Yeah. You're doing it right. You're doing it, my friend. You're spreading the good word. You're spreading joy and happiness and connection. It's universal. There's a QR code on there. I bet it scans to the website. Should we go to the website? People are funny. Oh, we should just do a whole comment section. We should just go through the comment section one day and just do a whole, here's the website, dispatch work website. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's cool. Look at this thing. We could get lost here. Where are we? Do we have any around? Do I have any around me? Oh, Salem is around me. Beverly? What is this? What's here? Where are we? Where is here? Oh, Montserrat College of Art, of course. We might have to take a field trip. We might also have to do our own and figure out how we add to this. This is phenomenal. This is really something. Good for us. Good for humanity. Every once in a while, humanity, we should pat ourselves on the back. Dispatch work, great job. Give credit where credit is due. This is a phenomenal job. Jan Vorman, congratulations. You're my today's recipient of done something really good in the world and made me happy. And I think that's nice. I think that's one of the keys to this is if we find something we're passionate about in a way to make a difference. You never know that's how that's going to work. And so that brings me to food for thought. Food for thought's an interesting one today because, I didn't have me on there, but that's fine. Food for thought's an interesting one today. Let's add it. Let's take a look. Food for thought. 3i Atlas. And the only reason I'm bringing up Three Eye Atlas, I know my family is maybe a little sick. I don't talk about it that often. Maybe like it was, I think July, middle late July when they found this thing, and excuse me. For those of you unfamiliar, that's probably a good thing. But just the long and short of it, 3I, it stands for the third interstellar object that is come from outside of our solar system and cutting through our solar system. The last one was Oumuamua. I think that's how it's pronounced. And it's interesting that they sort of name them like the 3I is the third interstellar, which makes sense. And Atlas, I believe, was the observation point that first saw it. So I think it was a satellite, the Atlas satellite. And so it was in July, and this thing was cruising through the solar system and went in a very specific arc, non related to any gravitational pull of anything in our solar system. And so, again, just blasting through our solar system. And it just had some unusual properties and features. And the fact that it's only the third observed interstellar object that happened to come from the same direction that we projected a radio signal in the 1970s out towards space because we felt like it gave us the best chance of contacting life outside of ours. So, all of those things aside, Three Eye Atlas was just interesting. It had an interesting off gassing, had some interesting trajectories. It was just, I think, the fact that it was moving so quickly and we couldn't get great imagery of it, and it was a little bit, I don't know, finicky, or it was a little bit um, sensitive in terms of getting actual hard data from this thing and figuring it out and unpacking it all. So it made it intriguing. And I had been, wondering about it and thinking, oh, well, I don't think that it's necessarily a UFO, but could this be a probe of some sort? Could this be some kind of advanced technology, future humans sending it back, to take a look at, what led to the demise of their previous, human iteration? Or however it kind of worked out, or is it a UFO? Is it some kind of, are we the Netflix of some kind of a greater cosmic show? And the end of the season is coming, and they're sending something through just to kind of, or is this just collect information? I mean, or is it nothing, just a rock hurtling through space? Because who knows what space is, and who knows how it all works. So, I mean, I suggest all those options could be true, and I do, I do try to follow. I do try to follow. This was super cool. I try to follow it on the periphery, and I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get into this in a second. Um, let's see here. Let's see if I can figure this out. Make it all work. This is from the NASA website. I think this is super cool. And again, I should preface this by saying I wasn't even going to bring this up today, but this is eyes on the solar system. Look, you could rotate around and see 3I Atlas as it relates and where it is and as it relates to our solar system. So, which is just cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool things about this, and I think actually NASA did a pretty nice job of documenting 3i Atlas and all the information about it. But I often listen to let me put me on here too. I feel like I should put me on here too. I often listen to Charlie Penguins, Moist Critical, and I agree with a lot of what he says a lot of the time. Well, you hadn't said anything on it, Charlie, so it's not that I think you weren't familiar with it, but I was just curious to see what you said. No, I don't, because you probably are part of that civilization. Case in point. Agreed. Agreed. I don't think it's a matter of not prepared. I think we just have no idea what it is. And the fact that it is both exhibiting um, changing tail compositions, tails in the front, it seems to maybe have engaged with some kind of ejection of energy from the sun. I mean, it's just odd. There's a lot of oddities to this thing. So I don't think it's just so cut and dry. I bet you do. I bet you do. That's why I follow you. That's 90% of why I follow you, Charlie. Is because when the aliens come, I'm gonna be curious to see how I can increase my chances of connecting in positive ways and surviving. And I think you've got some keys here. That's why I was excited to hear this. Probably true.
Don't panic. I'm here to tell you it's just a bunch of hooey. This is such fucking horseradish, man. It's not an alien spaceship. And a lot of other scientists are debunking that narrative because, of course, media is running wild with that about how this is potentially aliens and we have nothing to do.
I
We're
think for me,
vulnerable.
a
We
lot
gotta
of the
do.
problem was that there was not a lot of media attention on this. And for me, part of the problem was it seemed like there was not a lot of viable information. I heard the same artificial intelligence. I heard the same. I don't quite know, like strange storylines that felt very contrived. Yet when I looked up information, there were certain things that checked out, and Avi Loeb was on everything. So I didn't take his word as gospel, but it was a benchmark to start to pick at certain facts at this and wonder, how what this thing really was, and just start to ask some questions because it's odd.
Do something, that kind of thing. So it's got people starting to actually believe that it could be. It's not. It's just not. Sorry for blasting you with the cold water of the truth here with the.
That's okay, Charlie. It really is. I kind of feel the same way. I do kind of agree with you on one hand. And on the other hand, there is something unusual about this comet. And so I don't know. I was just covering all my bases because what does it hurt to ask questions? What does it hurt to figure out, there's I mean, look at the trajectory. Look at the trajectory of this thing. I mean, it seems like it's on a pretty tight path. That's all. Just food for thought. I don't think we're going to find the answer to it, but I think it's worth asking the questions. And I don't know. I don't know if this is the last we're going to hear of it. I think it's behind the sun right now. You can see it arced behind the sun. And is it just going to head out of our solar system and be out of our lives forever? Or is it going to make a U turn and head back our way? You're going to have to stay tuned and find out maybe tomorrow on Off Grid and Late night and off grid, whatever we are. Whatever we are, I'm tired and it's late enough that I'm just going to sign off on here. Hope you guys all have enough power for your day inside and out. And I will catch up with you all soon.